just spotted a badger. And this is the second night in a row that he's been coming into the garden. Philipp trying to do David Attenborough. Where's he going? What is he doing? I think he's trying to camouflage himself.
I'm barely visible. He probably thinks I'm just a tree. A walking tree, but he hasn't spotted me yet. He's digging. Now I know who makes all these stupid holes in our back garden. I'm only a couple of meters away. It's so exciting.
Getting pretty close.
This is award-winning material. National Geographic front cover.
Seriously, he's getting really close.
What is he doing? Why is he here? What is he looking for? Why can't he see me?
I think it might have spotted him. Oh, no.
Is it my disguise? Or maybe he smells the influence and trusts me.
Oh, it's heading towards him.
Oh my goodness, it's coming. Is it dangerous? Oh, sugar, I scared him.
It's going.
I should have kept my mouth shut. What a beginner's mistake. There you go, Badger. See you later.
My name is Anna. I'm an English former fashion and textile designer. I moved to Paris aged 23 to work for the French couture house Baumann and stayed for the croissants, the wine, and of course for Philipp, a filmmaker from the South Tyrolean Alps. After 10 amazing years, getting married, buying and renovating 2 homes and having 2 babies, we decided city life was no longer for us. Philipp had been dreaming of buying a chateau since the day we met and finally convinced me to start looking. We came to visit Chateau Gonville-sur-Honfleur. Despite being in quite poor condition and needing a complete renovation, we immediately fell in love. In May 2019, we got the keys to the chateau, our new home. With a tight budget, we had no choice but to do most of the renovations by ourselves. We're learning new skills as we go, building muscles we never knew we had, and getting creative to make the chateau as personal as possible whilst preserving its historic features. It's all part of this crazy family adventure, and we wouldn't change it for anything.
Anna, you're drinking coffee and you're taking the wallpaper off at the same time.
Yeah, I forgot to have my coffee after lunch, so just having a quick coffee, so I'm full of energy to tackle this. I got very excited because I discovered that underneath this one there is a really beautiful wallpaper. It's so exciting because this wallpaper has been hidden under layers of other paper for hundreds of years, and finally we're uncovering it and discovering something about the tastes of those times and the people that lived here.
What do you expect from this wallpaper? What do you want to do with it?
I just want to see what the original design was because I'm quite inspired, and I'm thinking maybe I could create a wallpaper here, like a lino printed paper that's based on the design. What do you think?
I like it.
Nathan, when he was removing the wallpaper, he discovered a few really cool things that I wanted to show you, Philipp. This rosace, which has been etched into the wall, and then a couple of little pencil drawings of a monsieur and maybe a lady, I'm not sure. And then here's some with 6 rouleaux de papier, so they'd obviously calculated how much paper they needed to decorate the room. But I just love it.
Maybe the decorator got upset with the owners and he made this drawing and wrote, "Stupid landlord and his grumpy wife." There's one building at the chateau that you might have seen in the background, but we've never talked about it. This is actually the top of a well. Underneath this is a hole over 50 meters deep, and I promise you one day we will inspect it together and I will find a way to get a camera down there, maybe with the help of a child. Again, when we arrived at the chateau, this hut was completely overgrown. We spent a lot of time freeing it, repairing all the wooden slats that were broken and eventually replanted. And I've chosen geraniums, 2 roses and clematis. The geraniums, they did marvelously. The roses were okay, and the 2 clematis were a catastrophe. I hope this year we can improve it, and the first thing I want to do is to redefine the edges of that bed, so it's easier for me after to mow the lawn. And then there's also this former fountain thing here. Initially I wanted to plant something different in here, but now I think it's nicer to have the same plants all around the well. So it's going to be geraniums here as well, and I just have to remove these, oh, I think it's nettles. Nathan? Ouais, tu peux me vider ça? Ouais, merci. Anna, you're still working on the wallpaper?
Yes, that's true. I thought it was going to be a lot quicker, but I absolutely love the motif. It's my favourite wallpaper that I've found so far, and I'm very inspired, and I think it would be a beautiful print to reproduce. But I'm also going to try to very, very carefully remove as much as I can of the wallpaper and keep it intact. The better pieces are over there, so I'm attempting to see if I can do it over here.
Okay.
And over there I've got full pieces which are hardly damaged. Oh my goodness. That gave me such a shock. Yeah, that kept happening to me yesterday. It's the steam.
It triggers the fire alarm.
At least we know it's working.
Yeah.
Philip, I show you something else I discovered. I'm very excited about. Yesterday, when I was removing the paper, I actually found this. It's a handwritten text, which for some reason is on the back of the wallpaper. I don't know what it says, so I'm going to try to remove it very carefully and see if we can decipher it. I think this says Gonville. I can see a V-I-double-L-E, no? That would make sense.
Yeah.
Monsieur de Koala?
Might just be the man who ordered it.
Yeah, I think it might have been the people who were making it.
There's some writing on the stripy wallpaper we just found, and it says Son, S-O-N. The family who owned the chateau before us is called Sanson, so that would make sense. But that's on the stripy wallpaper, so it's the last layer.
That means this striped wallpaper dates back from 1917 when the previous family bought it and renovated. This paper underneath, the simple one with the stripe, was perhaps from 1827, because Philip, you found a panelling and it had on the back fait par Georges 1827, so made by George in 1827, so we know that there was a renovation at that time as well. So I wonder if that does mean that this would be dated back to 18th century at some point when they renovated. It's really exciting. We're starting to sort of piece some of the history of the chateau.
You might remember this hedge from last week's video. I tried to put it back into shape, or as Anna phrased it, I don't know what you did, but it looked better before. See it more as a contemporary approach to topiary. It's more a Jackson Pollock than a Caspar David Friedrich. If you try to understand it, you might end up liking it. I like it. And now with these naughty big branches out of the way, I can give it a go again with my Hedge thing machine. It certainly has a name. I didn't want to torture you with yet another time lapse of me cutting this particular hedge. Also, I forgot to press the rec button. Anyway, it's done now. That's as far as I want to go. What do you think? There's one last thing that bothers me, and this is this branch here. Can you see it? It's a stupid tree. We have nice trees and we have stupid trees. This is a stupid tree. And before you say there's no stupid trees, trust me, sycamores, they are stupid trees. They're everywhere here. They're self-seeding, they're invasive. They grow where other beautiful trees are, and then the other beautiful trees die because the sycamores grow around and eat them and poison them, and I don't know what, but they have to go. finally I got successfully rid of the branch of the stupid tree. However, on this tree, the tree that I really like, there are also 2 branches that are too low. It's just an aesthetical thing, but having the hedge now in this perfect shape opened my eyes. And I found this ladder somewhere in an outbuilding. It doesn't look good, and I don't think I should use it. Also, there was a strange sign like a triangle, a red triangle with an exclamation mark in the middle glued on it. And I don't know what it means, must be a French thing. It's really wobbly, and I think that's all right. It should be fine. I think I'm just cutting the branch the ladder is leaning on. Ooh. That's good. This hedge has never been as beautiful as it is now, don't you agree? Unfortunately, by making it so beautiful, I also produced this gigantic heap of leaves and branches. Leaves and branches that will go towards our fire, that will burn and that will pollute the world, and we feel guilty. So if there only was a machine that could shred these branches and leaves, and let's be imaginative, why not use the product of that shredding to mulch our beds? I know I'm dreaming. A couple of minutes ago we got the delivery of this strange looking object on a pallet, and I must say I've been rarely happier to receive a strange looking object on a pallet. This item is going to make my life as a chateau gardener so much easier, so much more efficient, and also more sustainable, under the condition that I figure out how to operate it. It's almost as cool as a motorbike. Anna and the girls, they will love it. $120 very loud, cool. Safety straps, they're like industrial sized. I guess I can keep them. This way. Have you seen Fargo? One of my favorite films. Doesn't feel that heavy, but it is heavy. I haven't read the instructions, but if you have a master in philosophy, you know that the world is just a product of your imagination. So you can just look at the engine and it does what you want. La, 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 la. Okay, let's try this. There's an on and an off, and I think that's a hint. Look at this. This is beautiful mulch. This is food for the plants. It prevents weeds, and it even smells good. So it's a total win-win for everybody, apart from the neighbor for the noise. This piece of equipment is going to make our gardening so much easier. No more transporting, no more fires. And it looks good. Look at this red. This is as close as I will ever get to a Ferrari. Kidding, I'm not into these superficial and vain things like Ferraris. I much rather had a Lamborghini. Hi, darling. I think you should come down in the garden and see some wild and fierce and untamed force in action. Ah, cheeky you, thank you, I know. But I was talking about a machine. Yeah. All right. Good. All right. She was semi-interested. Is it a man thing? Hey, Anna.
Hey.
I believe you're not at all interested in my machine.
No, I am, but I'm doing something very important.
What could possibly be more important than my machine?
I'm just cutting out my green lino printed wallpaper to make samples to send to some of our patrons.
Oh. How are you going to send them?
I have to figure that out. I've got an idea though.
Anna, that's all fine and good, but if you don't come out with me now, I will be finished with the shredding and you miss the whole show.
That's okay. I'm all right with that.
You have no idea what you're missing out on. I asked Anna several times to join me in the garden and assist with the machine, but she doesn't come. She's not interested. I asked my daughters, and they said no as well. Just because they are 3 and 5, it's not an excuse. But luckily, I'm not on my own. I have Super Nathan with me, and he's happy to help me. Happy, happy. Are you happy? Where are you? He's still here. As usual, we're a bit in a hurry because it looks like it would start raining. But for you, my subscribers, we still have time to do a French lesson with Nathan. Nathan, what are the advantages of this machine?
Alors ça nous évite le déplacement des bois.
Le déplacement des bois. Deuxième avantage, Nathan?
La pollution, ça nous évite de faire du feu.
La pollution. La pollution. Troisième avantage?
Alors ça nous fait du bois raméal fragmenté.
Ça nous fait du bois raméal fragmenté. A-t-il un quatrième avantage?
Ça fait du bruit.
Un bruit chouette.
Un bruit chouette.
On est d'accord.
On est d'accord.
Ça fait un bruit très chouette. Anna, you made progress.
I did. I managed to save so far 2 big pieces. I think we're going to frame it. We definitely have to archive it somehow.
Could even be exposed in this hallway.
Yeah.
How do you think was this wallpaper made?
I think it was probably block printed, so they would have carved out the design in wood, and I think there probably would have been 2 different stamps, and then they would have inked it up, they would have applied it and onto the paper. So a little bit, well, very much the technique that I'm using for my wallpaper, so you definitely have to be very patient with this. But it's worth it. I mean, it's something that's historically very important. Oh no. Sorry, I had to drop the scissors, really fragile. That's the problem because it's obviously, well there was a big hole in the middle of the paper already.
Well, you rescued a huge piece.
Yeah.
What is it, darling? You're upside down, you are.
Yeah.
Have you seen this pretty wallpaper that Mama rescued from the wall? Look at this. Look at this. You're more interested in a camera than in the wallpaper, in the 19th century wallpaper.
Very fragile.
It looks like some serpent skin from afar. Mm-hmm. When Anna said there were 2 stamps, the first one was for the general shape, and then, as you can see here, those little lines, they would have been applied with a second. Do you think we can reproduce them, or somebody still owns the rights to these designs?
I don't know, I'll have to research. Maybe one of our viewers has a suggestion.
Well, anyway, you would rather make an interpretation of these, wouldn't you? You wouldn't make an exact copy.
I don't know, I really like the design as it is. I think it could be nice to reproduce it.
How
It's
would you
really-
do that?
Well, I would just recreate the design. It might be better to screen print this, though, in order to get all that detail of the fine
Yeah.
lines on top. Okay, gonna see if I can save any more.
Ah oui, Nathan, j'ai vu que tu as mis la terre ici, c'est parfait. Tu as enlevé les plantes qui étaient là-dedans?
Ouais, les orties. Ouais.
Des orties?
Ouais, et ça m'a bien piqué. Ouais.
Ah non, il y avait des orties. Ah, je savais pas, je suis désolé.
Ça.
Ouais. I just realized instead of buying a new geranium for this spot here, I can use this one because I planted it too close to the other two. I probably should have done this a bit earlier in the season, but you know, it's all right. I asked Nathan to do this just in case there are some nettles left. And look here, it's the very first geranium of this year. I'm really pleased, it's nice looking. Nathan, c'est parfait. Si seulement on avait du BRF.
C'est ce qu'on a là, non?
Ah oui, j'avais oublié. Now, it's not perfect, but it looks so much better than it did before. And I'm afraid this is as far as I can go for this season with the well and the hedge, because I have to go back inside. If I don't help Anna now to finish the fourth guest room, she will get really upset. And one more thing, after last week's video, we got a lot of messages and a lot of comments, some of them quite angry. And it's all because I locked Nathan into this cupboard. I do assure you, in reality, Nathan is really happy to be with us. We treat him well, he's getting food, and if you have been triggered, if we hurt your feelings, our sincere apologies.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. For exclusive videos and behind the scenes updates, have a look at our Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching.